Hi guys, today we're watching History again, but this time we're not going to be watching shorts of what just happened there. We are going to be watching I Just Started a War. Make sure to like and subscribe to History. He makes amazing videos. Let's go. Right.
Happy anniversary, darling. I handed my wife a small black box. Her eyes lit up. I thought you said we weren't gonna exchange gifts this year. We did, but after cashing in those poker earnings, I couldn't help myself. And don't worry about getting me anything. Honestly, do you really think I'd let you surprise gift me and not be prepared? I smiled to myself. Damn, I love the hell out of you, woman. She took out a gift bag and handed it to me. You go first, babe. She popped open the black box and was speechless. You got me the ring I love. You jerk. You spent way more than I did. It's not a competition. Do you like it? No, I love it. Open yours. I opened the gift bag and took out the coolest black leather shoes that I've ever seen. Then it hit me.
Nice.
Holy hell. I used to wear these when I could walk. Is that okay? I know how much you loved wearing them back then, so I figured you might like them now. I love them, and don't sweat it. I'm in a good place now with all that. These are super cool, babe. I wheeled over to her, and she sat on my lap. Even though I've been with this woman for over 10 years, we shared one of the best kisses ever. I gotta tell you, for as unlucky as I got in that car wreck, I got equally as lucky finding you. An hour later, I was in bed and went to sleep peacefully. Then the nightmare began at 3 in the morning when I woke up, looked over, and saw that my wife was missing. I glanced over at the bathroom and could see that the light was off and the door was open, so she wasn't in there. I grabbed my chair and struggled to slide into it. Then I headed out to the living room and my jaw dropped in shock when I saw a man that looked familiar sitting in my chair smoking a cigarette. Look who finally decided to wake up. You are one hell of a deep sleeper, pal. Why are you in my house? Do you remember me? I didn't have a clear look at his face. Let me remind you. My name's Vladimir. We played one-on-one against each other in poker a month ago. You took over 2 million from me. Okay. Yeah, I remember you. Where's my wife? I would be happy to tell you. Intense fear creeped up my spine. I cannot share her exact location just yet. You'll have to do what I say first. My confusion grew. I have signed you up for a private, one-on-one poker game with a man named Yuri. I will not share his last name. He is an oligarch and worth billions. I hate this man even more than I hate you. The game is for $20 million. You're going to win the $20 million pot and give me every penny of it, or else I'll take your wife out on my boat and dump her in the Hudson River. I felt abject terror and rage flood my body, but had learnt from years of poker to keep every muscle in my face completely still. I'm not doing crap unless I see proof of life. He showed me a picture on his cell phone of her tied to a chair with a gag in her mouth. She looked horrified. Will you play along and be a good little boy, or will you make me a murderer? Fine. I knew I had to agree because I would do anything to save my wife. I am so glad you are cooperating. Here, he tossed me a small round device. That's a surveillance camera with audio capture that will be tracking your every move from here on out, just in case you were thinking of going to the cops or doing anything stupid. Clip it onto your collar. If you take it off, I'll consider that your resignation and take your wife out immediately. I will not wait. I've done this many times before, so don't test me. I clipped it onto my collar. I felt an eerie coldness, knowing that from this moment on, I was always being watched. I will text you the address for tomorrow night. Don't be late, and have a great day. I'll be watching. He giggled like a schoolgirl and left. Tons of dark thoughts raced through my mind. There was no way the surveillance camera could pick up what was happening below my waist, so I texted my cousin. Help! Anna's been kidnapped. I'm being forced to play in a private poker game against some Russian oligarch. If I don't win, he'll kill Anna. You'll need to sneak into my place as quietly as you can behind me and put a wire on me from behind. Get all of your FBI guys on this. 20 minutes later, my front door slowly opened and I made sure to face away from it. It was my cousin. He tiptoed in, snuck up as quietly as he could behind me and positioned a wire inside my shirt and taped it onto my back. He didn't say a word as he did it. He put his hand on my shoulder in a reassuring way, then handed me a small Beretta handgun. He texted me a few minutes later. The FBI will be monitoring everything and working behind the scenes. Stay strong. I discreetly taped the handgun onto the back of my leg. I sat in my wheelchair in cold, eerie silence and stared at pictures of my wife on the side table in the living room, and my rage towards this Vladimir bastard grew. I put on my slick black leather shoes that my wife gifted me. I thought of it as my good luck charm. Then I got the text of where to be. I went into my bank and withdrew the buy-in money, which totaled 5 million in cash. Nightfall came, and I got into my disability-assisted Mustang with my hand pedals and drove to a mansion in the Hamptons. I adjusted the surveillance camera and wondered if that dick, Vladimir, was actually watching and if he was making my wife watch. The thought of that made my heart ache. I made my way up to the front door and it opened before I could knock. A Russian woman smiled at me. "Welcome, sir. Please, follow me." I followed her into the largest living room I have ever seen. "Can I get you something to eat or drink?" I glanced over and saw a personal chef awaiting my order. "Whiskey, neat." I followed her into a private room where I saw Yuri. He was already sitting at the poker table ready to play. He had an opened black briefcase full of cash in front of him, and he glared at me with no pretense at all. I was the enemy. I saw a massive tattooed Russian security guard standing in the corner of the room. He had muscles popping out of his forehead. He came over to me and felt me everywhere for any weapons. I quietly panicked and thought, "Please don't find my gun or my wire." He felt along the sides of my legs in the chair, but not underneath them. Phew, close call. Yuri addressed me. "I have counted out the chips for you. Dahlia, take his buy-in." His assistant took my bag of cash, counted it, and then put it into a nearby safe. "Dahlia here will be our dealer." "All right, no small talk, just how I like it. Let's roll." Small talk is for small people. Let's make one thing very clear from the beginning. I have nothing but hatred for you because you are a threat. How so? You threatened to take a large percentage of my livelihood. I dislike that very much. That was very confusing. Then why do you play? I play so when I win, I get to watch someone's entire world crumble to pieces around them. Watching the agony and devastation in their eyes up close is thrilling. So you get off on hurting people? Cool. Great character trait. Ready to lose all your money? He grinned. The first few hands went as expected. Not much action on either side as we both tried to feel each other out. I saw that he had tapped on the table when he had a decent hand, and he squinted his eyes when he had a really good hand. And he wasn't trying to bait me with those tells. He did them way too naturally. Then I got my first big hand. Pocket aces. The strongest starting hand in poker. I didn't bet. I checked, hoping he would bet. He did the squinting eye thing, so he definitely had good cards, maybe a pair. He bet a lot. I matched him. Then we got to the last river card, and I made a full house. 3 aces
I don't know how
and
to
2
play
jacks.
poker,
I
but
had him,
this is
and
how
I
you
knew he
play.
would bet heavy, because I guessed that he had 2 pairs.
Oh, okay.
He bet half of his pot, which was $3 million. I called and showed him my full house. He glared at me. Rage simmered behind his eyes. "You obviously had 2 pairs. He didn't show me his cards because he didn't have to, and he didn't want to show me that I was right. He stayed quiet and started playing with way too much emotion. It made him very easy to read. I checked my phone, and my heart sank when I saw a text from Vladimir with a picture of my wife. She had a black eye and a bloody lip. I felt my hands tremble with murderous rage. I couldn't imagine what she must be feeling right now. Then I focused on the task at hand. I had to win, and I needed to make it quick. I won a few more hands, and then I noticed him glance over at Dahlia, who was a very good dealer, and wink at her. My stomach dropped when I saw that, because most likely that was a signal to cheat. The next hand, he had a pair of aces. No surprise, because she dealt. I needed to call it out so that head Vladimir would know that this was happening and maybe go a little easier on me and my wife, but I had no proof. I watched her shuffle the next hand and positioned my whiskey glass to face the reflection of a mirror that was facing her. It gave me an angle to where I could see her from Yuri's point of view. Then I saw it. She started dealing and was taking a card from underneath her sleeve and giving it to him. I quickly grabbed her wrist and yanked it over to reveal the hidden cards. "You're a cheating bastard!" Yuri slammed his fists into the table. "How dare you accuse me? I just caught her. I had nothing to do with it." He stood up, grabbed Dahlia by the back of her hair, yelled at her in Russian, and slapped her across the face. She cried and ran away. It was all a show.
Abusive.
You expect me to believe that performance? I consider this your resignation from the game, and I win by default. That would be fair. He got in my face. "Let me tell you how this will go, you ridiculous little cripple. You will continue the game until one of us wins fair and square. That is what will happen. If you don't agree, I will have my head of security toss you over the Brooklyn Bridge. Your choice." "That's not a choice. That's a threat. So how about I deal instead?" I grabbed the deck and started shuffling. He didn't object. The next few
Wait,
hands were like taking candy from a baby. I tossed down a pair of kings.
Is poker even legal to play? Like, is poker even legal?
That I had a full house and had taken 80% of his money. "You may want to stick to being a big, bad, scary oligarch and stay out of the poker world, pal." "Why's that?" "Because you suck. My 12-year-old niece has a better poker face than you, and she's autistic." He quietly seethed, because somewhere inside of that thick, dumb brain, he knew that I was right. Then I got another text from Vladimir with another picture of my wife.
She's
This
even
time she had a cut on her head, and her eye was now swollen shut. There was also blood trickling down her chin. I closed my eyes in quiet agony. agony. The text read, "Better hurry. I'm running out of patience." I texted back, "Stop hurting her. I will get you your money." He responded, "That's a good little cripple boy." Another security guard entered, approached Yuri, and whispered something in his ear. He glared at me. "What are you trying to pull, you piece of crap? What are you talking about? Why are there men watching my house? I have no idea. Now who's the liar? I am done with this shit. I will tell you what will happen next. I am going to take all of your money, and there is nothing you can do about it. Then my 2 men here will take you to the Brooklyn Bridge and toss you over. You will die tonight." Flashes of my wife flickered across my mind, making me start to feel desperate. He stared at me, hoping and waiting for me to give him the satisfaction of my entire world crumbling. I smiled at him instead. "Do what you will, but when you rest your head to sleep on that silk pillow every night for the rest of your pointless, greedy life, you will remember my face and know in your soul that I beat you fair and square." His smirk turned into disgust as he yelled, "Take him out now!" His 2 security guards grabbed me, lifted me out of my chair, carried me into the garage, popped open the trunk, and tossed me in. The first thing I did was feel for my handgun. Thank God it was still there. My hands started trembling and sweat poured down my face. I had never felt terror like this. I'm just a regular guy. I'm no killer. I'm not even sure I would have the guts to shoot anyone. But if it's between me and them, and if it's about saving the love of my life, I don't see another way. The drive seemed to take forever, and then we finally arrived and pulled over. I heard them get out and approach the trunk. I held the gun towards them and was ready to pull the trigger as soon as they popped open the trunk. My hand shook. My breathing was quick and shallow. I was desperately trying to overcome my panic. I heard them fiddling to open it, and they did by an inch, then stopped cold. I only saw an inch out of the trunk, but it was enough to see a black SUV pull up behind us. I heard the doors swing open, yelling, and then what sounded like a barrage of fireworks blasting off. The sounds of bullets bouncing off of metal and yelps and bodies hitting concrete. I had hoped and prayed it was the FBI saving me. My excitement grew, because who else could it have been? Then my nightmare continued as Vladimir walked towards me with a smoking gun and 7 Russian gangsters behind him. I opened the trunk and quickly hid my gun in my pants again. I thought of my wife and just going guns blazing if that was my only option. Where's my thank you? For what? How about the fact that we just saved your life, you ungrateful turd? You put me in this, so why would I thank you for anything? He smiled, knowing I was right. Look, you saw what happened back at Yuri's place. He had to cheat, and there was no way I could come out as a winner, no matter how well I played. True, and if that was all that has happened, I would actually understand the situation, and maybe even let you reunite with your wife and let you go. But you have something else to tell me, don't you? My throat tightened. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Really? Is that a fact? I nodded, and prayed that he hadn't found out about me contacting the FBI. Then why did I find this piece of shit hanging around Yuri's house? He opened up the back door to his SUV and dragged out a beaten-up man. He was shivering and was covered in blood. I looked closer, and my heart burned when I realized that it was my cousin. This little cock was sitting in a black van and had a surveillance setup connected to a wire that you're wearing. 2 of his guys tore off my shirt and ripped off the wire. I'm gonna change our little game a bit since you decided to break the rules. I'm going to hold on to your wife and your little cousin here who claims that he never notified anyone else at the FBI about this. I'm not sure I believe him about that, but so far, we don't see any other feds around. And if we do, all of you die. Especially that hot piece of ass wife of yours, who is very feisty by the way. Just how I like it. Check out how she looks now. He showed me another picture of her, and she was badly beaten up. Her whole face was covered in blood. I shook my head and closed my eyes, horrified. That's how you get off, huh? Hurting women? You're a weak little insecure coward for doing that. I knew that was risky, but I had to say it. He glared at me, probably thought about ending me right there. I saw a few scratch marks on his forearm and grinned a little. I had hoped she had scratched and clawed at him. She's tough as nails in her own way. One of the reasons why I love her. So our little game now is, you are going to go back to Yuri's place, break in, murder him, steal all of his cash, and then hand it over. What kind of a world are you in that you're trying to make a person with a disability act like some John Wick assassin? How sick are you? He let out a cackling laugh. You're right, there's no one sicker than me. You could ask my friends who I've killed for a lot less. Oh wait, how could you ask them if they're dead? He laughed even harder. I'll be totally honest with you. I do this more for pure entertainment than anything else. Me getting to watch your dumb, crippled body try and sneak into his mansion is hilarious to me, and me and my guys are placing bets on how far you will actually go. It's the best entertainment in the world, watching your pathetic desperation as you try so hard and will definitely fail. I've never felt murderous rage like that before. I considered just drawing my gun and ending him right now, but then saw my angelic wife's face beside me. I need a new wheelchair. It's in Yuri's poker locker room. I'll tell you what, we'll drop you off in front of his house and then watch you crawl. And don't even think about contacting any coppers or both of them will eat bullets. The one good thing that came out of being roughed up was that Vladimir's surveillance camera wasn't working anymore. Not that he really needed it. He had my wife and now my cousin. The SUV opened up and Vladimir's thugs tossed me out onto Yuri's driveway, parked down the street and watched. I crawled up to the front door and anxiously developed a plan. My black leather shoes still held up and I loved them so much. I swear they kept me going knowing she gave them to me. I needed to have a little chat with Yuri and let him know that I can help him. Even though he sent me out to die, I needed to get him on my side first, then deal with him later. I knocked and Dahlia opened the door, covered her mouth in shock at seeing me on my stomach. "Hello there, is your boss around?" She rushed back in and brought Vladimir to the door. "Before you say anything, your enemies are watching, so pull me in quick." He was confused for a second, then dragged me in and shut the door. "Surprised to see me, dickhead? Where is my head of security?" "Dead, along with his other guy." Vladimir snapped his fingers and 3 new security guys rushed towards me, guns drawn. "Relax, you idiots. I'm obviously not in a very threatening position. I had reached a point of numbness here, well beyond fear for my own well-being. All I cared about was saving my wife and cousin. Vladimir killed your guys and wants me to rob and kill you. In case you didn't know it, he wants everything you have. So, here's what's gonna happen. Vladimir needs to think that I've taken you out and stolen your cash. Then I'm supposed to give it to him. Yuri paced in a murderous rage. "That ungrateful bastard. How do you know the guy anyway? He's my little brother." I was shocked. "He got left out of the will when our father died and I got everything. Just my luck. I get stuck in a family feud of oligarchs. We need to fake your death, lure him in and set a trap. But here's the deal. If I pull this off, you let me go." "Fine." 20 minutes later, I called Vladimir from Yuri's phone. "It's done. Yuri's dead and I have your money. But I'm not giving you shit unless you tell me where my wife and cousin are being held. I must say, you are one slick, crippled freak. I am impressed. Your wife and cousin are in a storage unit in Brooklyn. I will give you the key." 10 minutes later, Vladimir and his 3 Russian thugs entered, guns drawn, just in case I was lying. Yuri and his 3 guys were lying on the floor with fake blood on them. I was sitting in my wheelchair, smoking one of Yuri's cigars. Vladimir smiled when he saw me and tossed me the storage unit keys. "I must know, how did you pull this off? Intelligence wins over muscle every time." That triggered 5 of Yuri's assassins to storm into the room from every direction and blast all of Vladimir's thugs. Their bodies got riddled, but they also had machine guns and were counterattacking really well. I just stayed as still as possible while bullets bounced off of the walls and furniture. I couldn't move, and as terrified as I was, I kept a cool poker face and just kept puffing on my stogie. Yuri stepped up and was blasting away, along with Vladimir. Both men were firing relentlessly at each other. Bullets kept spraying, and then through the thick haze and smoke I saw that every thug had been taken out. Vladimir and Yuri had both taken a couple shots but faced off with each other. They cursed at each other in Russian, and both drew on each other. Vladimir got the best of him. "Haha, suck on that, big brother." He grinned with a blood-soaked smile, then turned to face me. "You lying freak." He went to raise his firearm at me, but he was too slow. I put 2 in his head. I was holding my gun in my other hand the whole time, waiting for my opportunity, kind of like a poker game where I was holding pocket aces. I hopped back in my Mustang, raced towards the storage unit, popped open the door, and saw my wife and cousin. "I'm so sorry you had to go through that, darling." We both teared up and held on to each other. "Thank God you're safe." She caressed my cheek. "How did you escape?" "It's a long story.
right
Are you
back.
okay?" "I'll live." I kissed her, then rushed her to the hospital.
right
She had a
back.
few cuts and bruises.
Hi guys, I'm back. There's just some stuff happening where my recording failed. Something failed, so I had to skip. Let's finish the video.
But would be okay. I was so relieved.
Nice.
My cousin brought in his FBI boss, and we all met in her room a few hours later. They both shook my hand. "You're one tough son of a bitch." "Nah, not really. I just love my wife."
Can AI really change the way your business
Is that
operates?
it?
If you stick to
That's
one
it.
AI vendor and rebuild every...
Well, guys, that is the end of today's video. Make sure to like and subscribe. But Axolotl Plays is out. Peace. Hi guys, this is Axolotl Plays editing. Like, tell me in the comments below what do you want me to like react or like play games? Like, tell me what you want to see on my channel. Peace.